Hi, we're back again today with another video. This one is on planting some edible herbs. So we've got our pot ready, we've got the herbs ready. We'll show those to you in a moment. And
the lackey's ready.
The lackey's ready, yes. And we'll go and have a look and see what we're planting today. Somebody's coming. And somebody's going back out. Inky? Who's that up there?
Hi, it's the lackey.
The lackey?
The lackey. So we've got our 3 lots of herbs to go. We've got some Afro parsley. We've got some chives. And we've got some basil. The basil's probably looking a little bit... needs to get out of the pot, I suppose, but it's all good. These can go in full sun, part sun, and part sun. And here's our pot. We've just got the well in the bottom. These won't need to be watered underneath because their roots won't get big enough. We've got our potting mix ready to go. We're using a premium potting mix. Let's get going.
Yeah.
These are 25 litre bags. You're going to not need a full one. It's really good quality potting mix. It's really light. You can see there's a little bit of bark and stuff through it, but it's also got Osmocote, which will be a slow release. It says on it it's got 4 months worth of feeding. It's got a wetting agent in it, which is a bonus. Growth stimulants and some trace elements, which is really, really good for using on herbs.
Have you planted these before?
I think I've planted chives and basil before, but not parsley. Parsley is pretty much like a weed. I think you can grow it that way. Yeah, I'll just top this up a bit. You probably want to have a bit of space from the top, obviously. I think that you can go higher if you want, but I think it's ideal to probably go to about there. It gives your plants plenty of room to move. Alright, so I'm going to start with the parsley. There's about, I think, 8 in a punnet. We're probably only going to use 4 because it'll fill out quite well. These are meant to be planted around 20 centimetres apart. Obviously, we don't have where we can put a heap around, but these 3 will grow really well together. So you just...
Is it what you call companion planting?
It is to a point. Basil's really good because it's smelly and stuff like that. And eventually when we plant tomatoes, it's good to have around. So it goes well with tomatoes.
And what will we do with the other 4?
We're going to plant them out in the yard, probably up around where we've got the pumpkin and that. Planting. So we're just going to do some dirt planting and see how they go. Just a trial and error. See, it's a good indication to show you how good sometimes soil is. So, yeah, there's about 8 plants. I'm going to use 4. Just break it in half. Put the other 4 back in. And then you just break them apart like this. They're pretty hardy. These are in good nick, actually. So work out where you want to put them.
The root system looks good.
Yeah, they're nice and they're really light and friable too. So what you can do is just lay them down and then get what you're next putting in. So these are going to be the chives. Chives are really good in salads and stuff. Again, this is a different shaped pot, so just break it out again. They're not too pot bound, there's good root growth. These you can just sort of pull apart a bit, or not.
How's your muscles going?
Yeah, not so good. They're pretty hardy, so sort of hack that apart, but they'll be fine. They're chives. So, and this lot I'm going to plant in a bunch. But these you can trim off and stuff like that and chuck them in your salad. They're fantastic. So I might put one of them in the middle, a little bit of chive on the side, and then we've got the basil.
Are we not going to dirt plant chives?
Yes, we're going to. Oh no, we're not. No,
okay.
It's only the parsley and the basil. There's a lot of basil in here, so they're all in little bunches. Again, there's probably about 8 as such. So again, these probably aren't as old. You can tell by there's not a lot of root growth on there. They're still fine and they're healthy enough. So you just break them apart like this.
Oh, you can smell them.
Yeah, the basils, you can smell the chives. Obviously parsley you don't really get the smell of, but the basil's quite strong too. So I'm just going to plant it like that. Actually we might dirt plant them so it doesn't look out of whack. So yeah, and I think the basil will really fill this side out, and so will the parsley, and the chives will spread out, so it'll look pretty good. So just because it's potting mix, it's fantastic for planting in. It's like digging down the beach. Just chuck them in. Make sure your roots are, you've got a deep enough hole for your roots. Just hold them up. Fill your soil around a bit. You don't have to go too nuts, because at the moment we're going to be planting on the outside. And just finger dig your basil. Again, just push it around, and we'll neaten all this up when we finish. So you get them all where you want them. Make sure you're getting, you know, as I say, the soil's so good, it's easy. And it's quite, you can really smell the basil, it's quite strong. What do you reckon is going to be your favourite?
My favourite's always parsley, but I am partial to chives.
Yes.
Basil, not so much.
Basil's more going to be used.
Are we going to use the parsley in the cocktails?
Parsley we'd only probably use in a Bloody Mary, but the basil will probably be more inclined to go into cocktails. So I'm getting a weird look from the camera person. The lackey's obviously done something wrong.
That's it, just need to tidy up around the chives.
Yeah, so as you were talking to me.
You can see a few roots.
No, they're alright, they're just stringy bits, they're fine.
Okay.
So they're actually just dead bits if I pull them out, see?
Okay.
So, anyone think you're a gardener? Yeah, so just neaten it around. Oh, are you?
Mm.
By trade?
By trade.
Oh.
Did 4 years at school.
Oh, is that right?
What about you?
Yeah, by trade.
Oh, 3 years at school.
3 years at school and 1 to the employer.
Mm.
So you can just pat it down a bit, but once you water it till everything settles, especially with potting mix. Yeah, so that's sort of all we're going to do. Use the pot to get up because I'm getting old. Alright, and as luck would have it, I've got a watering can with water in it. So we'll give him a drink.
Rainwater.
Yeah, it's from our rainwater tank. I'm giving him a decent drink because I want it to really soak into all the soil and keep the moisture in.
Can you over water?
Definitely.
On the first planting?
Well, you can see all the water's flowed through, and in the bottom of this we've got like a well, which if you had a normal size, you can sort of see the well hole, which is just there. Yeah, so with the well hole, normally you'd water in here and all the roots would pick it up, but because of what we're planting and the distance, I think it's easier just to hand water. And the area we're in, we'll probably get full sun for part of the day, but shade for part of it. So it is a little bit of a trial and error, and we'll see how we go. But if it goes anything like our broad beans and that, we'll be selling the stuff down the street soon. So just make sure everything's still nice and looking good.
Not at the market store. So we're using this pot because we're repurposing it. The pot's classified, I would say it's vintage.
Why would you say that?
Because it was bought in 1995.
Yeah, no, that makes it pretty vintage. What was in it previously?
A Christmas tree. It got pot bound.
Yeah, what are the chances? A Christmas tree in a pot?
Yeah. So it was a smallish Christmas tree.
Oh, okay.
But I gave it to my mum, and then the pot's come back again.
Yep. So it's always a good thing.
So we're using, reusing stuff that we've got lying around.
Yeah, we didn't see the point in going out and buying a pot, so
Yeah.
this will work a treat.
Yeah. Okay.
Awesome. So if you see anything in the video that you really like, just and you want to ask any questions, just make a comment below. Subscribe if you really like us, and a thumbs up would be great. And also, thanks to those who have asked or made comments and asked some questions and that. That's awesome. So anything you want to know, we'll do our best to answer. Cheers. Have a good day.
What is it, Inky? Hey, what is it? Hey, what is it? Hey? Hey? He's a good
So,
What about your gloves?
I haven't got my gloves on at the moment, as you can see, bare hands. So
Fresh
I will
dirt.
put them on. Just, you know, tough love them. Even the basil, they're all dry-ish. They're all right. They're not at wilting point. They just need a drink. So they will get a water. So
Neighbours?
yes, Sunday morning. Quietness, the serenity. Cars, people. Mozzies.